All right. Shalom, shalom, Sister Deborah, prophetess in the wilderness. And you know what? That's all right with me. Coming again on this Devil platform with another message. And I will say this is a lovely morning in which the Most High Yah has made, and I, Sister Deborah, shall and will rest therein. I just thank the Most High AHAYAH for all that he was, all that he is, and all that he's going to be. He has already been. It is finished. I'm coming again today with part 2 of it, the warning. It is finished, 7 p.m. Central Time. But today I had to address an individual as the Spirit of the Most High Yah has given me the order to. And his name is, he titled himself on this Devil platform as Pastor Dowell. And not only am I addressing him, I'm addressing all the followers who don't understand what the great falling away consists of. It consists of those who choose to follow man, falls away with man in the eyes of the Most High AHAYAH. Okay, so many that has detached themselves to this individual that has fallen away, okay, from the spirit that represents AHAYAH, the Most High Yah. Okay, so that's where the great falling away is. See, a lot of people don't understand why this devil platform was created. They don't understand why all these sites and devil platforms are created. They think they're created for them. And I think it's real sad. They didn't understand that the reason why the Father has suffered it to be these platforms so all these clowns can get on here and clown up. And in a sense, it's almost revealing. It is. The wheat from the tare. It's revealing a lot of things, and they're thinking that they're being able to deceive people. No, they don't think that they don't. A lot of them don't are not aware that they have ruined the people of the Most High Yah. Okay, they don't, and it's nothing in them. And it spoke of it in the last days. There was not going to be anything in them that would care enough for people to know what is truth. You see, so they have caused the people detached to them based regarding a lot of the media. Now, remember how a lot of people talk about the priests and the Romans, Catholics, and the different churches and how they have led the people. Well, this devil platform has done likewise or greater, because everyone came to the platform thinking this is the way that I can gain, get, speak, be somebody important, be somebody famous. And they missed the whole overall of why this platform was created. The Most High suffered them to get to this point to come and develop this platform and all this other stuff that you see. Yah suffered them to get to this point. Why? So that his word may be fulfilled. On these platforms, he has told me to make sure I make the statement to you all that's out there that's lost without a cause. And that is, this platform was geared to connect to the great falling away. 99.9%. To connect to the great falling away. So if you thought you got on here and you was trying to get a certain number and reach a certain capacity, and you thinking that it's all about what you're saying and what you're thinking, what you're feeling, your fleshly wisdom, your fleshly knowledge, your fleshly understanding, you are right. It is on this platform in which Yah has suffered it to be. Okay? He already done said what he gonna say. He already have done what he gonna do. It is finished. So all this continuing, it's all well. Continue in it. Get your markings. Go as high as you can. It's finished. And if today at 7 p.m. Central Time, I'm going into the part 2 of the warning. It is finished. It's finished. So, but this here is about Pastor Dowell, okay? Me, myself, being a prophetess in the wilderness, knows that this Pastor Dowell is not connected with the body of AHAYAH, which is the body, as we say here in this country, of Christ. There is a body. But what people didn't understand, nor did they ever grasp to, was this big thing about this body. Who is this body? Who is this body? Who is this body? No one cared to know. They desired to follow the multitude that walk like unto man versus walking in spirit and truth and trusting through spirit and truth. Okay? So they decide to follow one like unto Pastor Dowell. Now, he is a pastor. He's a pastor in the world. He's not a pastor in spirit and truth. Okay? I'm prophetess in the wilderness. If he was, it is I that can discern with the gift of discerning that the Spirit has embedded in me, can discern who he is. Okay? I'm not one that follows this individual, Pastor Dowell. I'm not one that believes in this individual with Pastor Dowell. I'm not one that study him. I'm not one that goes to his page. So happen when the Spirit leads me on here every now and then. It's not something I be on here all the time and I'm here every day. No. But when he leads me to listen to something just to show me exactly where I'm at in that day that was prophesied. So when I hear this man talk, I don't know if it was yesterday, the other day or whatever, but I heard him speak and I didn't even listen to the whole message, but I heard him speak like he have spoken in time past. And many people wants this man to be looked at as once on the righteous path. No, no, and no. Any path that he was on, it was the path that the Most High AHAYAH had put him for that day, that time and season. Knowing that in the end days, in this day, in that day, which is prophesied, what it brings everything to the light that's in the dark. It brings it to the light so you can see clearly who the individual is. So a lot of times people don't understand that what you're seeing today is a product of really yesterday that was hidden. Because how is it hidden? We put our trust in man after he said, put not your trust. We didn't put our trust in Elohim. We decided that we're going to trust what man says, what man do, how man act, how man conduct himself, and how he live, his wisdom, his knowledge, and his understanding. And what we see, everything you see is really a clear picture of who they are. A lot of times you might think, oh, this man is talking about this. This man had found a way that he could get people, and when I say people, men, that has gained some things in life. And he could get them to come in with him so he can build his empire. Now, when we have the mindset, men and women, who have the mindset that they're going to build a tower to heaven, then that is the sign you are to look for. Only thing we need to be building for the kingdom, okay, is gave, which is love. As the world has manipulated the word LOVE, and when you turn that word around, it is Evo, okay, Evo, okay. So the world have turned it into love, LOVE, and have detached it in the book called the King James Bible, okay? They detached that word there, and it has been a great deceiving tool to manipulate us to believe that love is connected to the Creator. And if it had not been for his Spirit teaching me in the wilderness. Now, this is why I had to go to the wilderness, because where people are at is not a place where they just truly put their 100 in AHAYAH. They put their 100, that means their trust, their minds, their spirit, their strength, everything into man, what they see and believe, what they hear and believe, and not into the things that is spirit and truth. So according for me as a prophetess in the wilderness to be chosen by the Most High Yah, which he said, if it was so, it would fool his very elect. Okay. Now, where Sister Deborah is going with this is Sister Deborah, is going to title this message, Your Time is Up, Pastor Dowell. That's the worstest thing you would want to hear from someone like unto me. I remember about 18, maybe even 20 years ago, when I had to go into places where thousands were located and was led by high power positions. I had to step into that realm because Yah sent me there. And the only reason was to be there to inform the CEO, the director, the owner that your time is up. Were their time up? Yes. Here I go, 18, maybe 20 years later, the Spirit has brought it back into active. And when he said, I want you to tell them their time is up. When the Father say that your time is up, it's because he's heard many cries, okay? He's seen you conduct yourself like unto a God. He's seen you find pleasure to be an idol to many. He's seen you try to turn darkness into what is light and light into what is darkness. He's seen you try to pretend that you are something that you are not in him. Okay. So he's saying, this is what the Father is saying to you, Pastor Dowell. For so long have you used who he is. He want me to let you know you never had the name right, because the name is AHAYAH. Okay, so he said you didn't have the name right, but you used what you have used to confound and confuse men, first of all. And you have built your own temple, your own sanctuary, your own heaven here on earth. And you have taught many to be in captivity to your wisdom, to your knowledge, to your understanding, to your way in your flesh, your feelings, your emotions. Okay? He wants you to know your wisdom is not his wisdom. Your knowledge is not his knowledge. Your understanding is not his understanding. And furthermore, your spirit is not connected to his spirit. Okay? So this is why you can easily communicate and use words that everybody use in the world. And you bring them not only into your setting, you bring it into what you call your church, your temple. Okay? You bring it into the whole world, and the whole world praises you while you're drinking. Okay? And you justify that it's okay as long as you can handle it, or it's not out of order. But Yah is saying to you, you can shape the picture and paint the picture as pretty as you want to paint it. But your time is up. 4 years ago, I came to you once before, 4 years, and told you that your wife was mission just for you. That's why the Father said your time is up. You've been among an angel, strictly from the kingdom. And you have unjustly treated her like cattle treated her like trash, treated her as if she's not the angel of Yah. So he wants me to let you know he placed her there so that you would never, ever be able to stand before his throne and proclaim anything, because you never saw her there as the light. So, for this same reason, you have had an issue with mother and a greater issue with the first female that you really had feelings for, that has turned you down in a way that you still today remembered. And because you got so many men, you have to sell into them something to build them up. But you got to give them something to build them up with. And the Father say he don't like, it's gone too far, Deborah. Speak unto him. His time is up. Because the only way you are going to get these men to feel what you felt toward your mother and you felt toward this woman that has denied you as when you were young, when you really had a feeling for her, you've brought all these men to your emotions and to your feelings that you have felt throughout all your life. And you brought them to your feeling. And your whole idea was to capture them in your emotions and in your years of feeling toward females, your mother, and this first woman that really made you look really bad as an individual that really felt he was in love. It was only your emotions and your feelings. And here today, still yet, the first woman in your life was mom. And if the first woman you hate, you would have to be hating women today, the way that you speak. The Most High says that comes from an inner place in you that has been rooted since you was a teenager. So whomever this young lady is, it had to be when you were young. But the first love was your mom. And if that love has wounded you to the point of where you at today, the Father said because you allowed those years of your emotions manifest itself to where you're at today. And it brings great joy and pleasure that you bring men into your bosom to feel your emotional hurt and feelings of darkness 50, 40 years ago. And he said he do not and will not allow it to go any further. He said you're gone too far. The people that walk with you, sit amongst you, have the same heart as you. Anybody that allow you to entertain them, to interfere with who they are and the way they think, the way they feel, the way they walk, the way they talk. You got several people who have come from among you, but they still of you because they think like you think. They feel like you feel. They talk like you talk. They act like you act, and they don't see no error. But yet they have come out of you. That shows me that the great falling away has tampered into your area to fulfill the word that has been prophesied regarding the great falling away. You all don't understand. The Most High wanted me to let you know when the great falling away took place, it's already taken place. It's when these medias, it's not so much as when the churches were there, those people were never there. But it's when this media, these devil platforms comes up and everybody cares nothing about spirit and truth. They only care about leading to people to their bosom. And where are they bosom? It's subscribers and likes and praise. So therefore, the Most High wanted me to let you know, if you think your numbers represents him, if you think for 1 minute your numbers is fruit of the Spirit, he's saying you are lost and still yet lost. You will not survive. You will and shall not survive that day in which we are in. Okay? Now, you call yourself a pastor. Yah says he has no problem with you calling yourself a pastor. Everybody in that day will proclaim that they this, that, this, and that. But the reason why he suffered me to come and tell you that your time is up is that's how severe the situation you have walked in. That is how severe the darkness in which you walk in. Okay? You take the tape, I don't know, a video, a message yesterday or the other day, or I don't know what day it was, but I just saw a clipping of it earlier. No, that was last night. Or was that this morning? It was one of them. No, was it last night? But all I know is this morning when the Spirit of the Most High said, Deborah, you got to address him now. Now, I got several others, but I need to address you as the Spirit has led me. Your time is up. Your life would never, ever be the same after this video. Okay? So I want to let you know. So any and everybody that has followed you and continue to follow you and has even branched away from you, they are still yet lost without a cause, because I hear them even speaking as you speak. Okay, I didn't see any need to hear people saying anything. All I'm going by is what my AHAYAH is sending me to do. Okay, and that is to tell you you've gone as far as the rope has allowed you, and your time is up. I want to say something to you before you leave. I want to let you know that all that time that you were thinking you was on the right path, no. As he built Pharaoh up, just to bring him down. Did not he bring Saul up? Samuel, Saul the prophet. He bring him up to what? To bring him down. He brings them up just to bring him down. He was given the prophet to warn him. Okay? And when he was given the prophet of the Most High to warn him, what did he do? Samuel. We're talking about Saul, okay, and Samuel. What did he do? What did he do? He was given a position by the Most High Yah. Did not you know that Saul knew that Elohim had placed him somewhere. Okay? But what happened? Saul wanted to continue walking in the position in which he was placed, but he was only put there for a moment to be brought down. Don't think that the Most High didn't know he put Saul there for a reason, for a season. He even sent a prophet to speak unto Saul. You see, the true person that was going to end up in that place was David. But Saul was given a prophet to warn him. But did he listen? No. But did the Most High know that he would listen? Yeah, he knew Saul wasn't going to obey. He knew that the moment he was placed there, Yah, Elohim, AHAYAH, his true name, knew that he wasn't going to stay in righteous. Yah will allow you and stand out of the way and let you build yourself up just for him to bring you down in the midst of everyone you brought yourself up into, and you brought yourself up in the midst of. And they are beholding you like unto a God on earth, not understanding that you have brought yourself to this level and you have spoke things. And some might think that even did miracles and signs and wonders, not understanding that the Most High Yah allowed you all that time with an angel of his own in the midst. That means you had no respect, no regards, no honor, no nothing. And you thought she was just there for you to step on and do as you please. And I love the Most High because he always sits a ram in the bush to see the reaction. And the individual have to be spiritual rooted to be able to understand that the ram that's in the bush is of Elohim. But they can't, because when they build themselves up to a situation or to a lifestyle when the whole world revolves around them, and I'm making this and I'm making this and I'm doing this and I'm doing this. Let me explain something to you, so-called Pastor Dowell. The Most High said, don't ever think that your fruit represent his spirit. Okay? The fruits in which you labor for is for your own flesh. Okay? The fruit in which you build on, the fruit in which you raise things on, the fruit in which you plant on has nothing to do with spirit and truth. It has to do with what everything has had to do with you, which is your flesh. It has to do with the pleasure of your flesh. And that's why you needed men to come in on your emotions and your feelings so that you can cover them up. As long as all of them believe you, then therefore it supports your wicked and evil ways. And now you're speaking things and you're thinking you're doing something successful. First of all, I want to let you know, 3 years ago, the Spirit of the Most High had already charged me that there is a spirit upon a people, a Hebrew men. And it is a hateful spirit. And he told me, Deborah, it even speaks of it in Deuteronomy 28. And it does. It's there. It's there. When the men says that the women went on welfare and left their children, put the men out and did this to the men, the Father wants you to know, good job. Good job with drawing the multitude into the great falling away along with you. You did an excellent job. And you continue to do an excellent job. But even if you continue, guess what? I want to let you know, the Father hath already mentioned to my spirit that the great falling away, Deborah, has already taken place. Hallelujah. He said that to me about, if it was 9-10 months ago, he said, Deborah, it's already taken place. It's took place already. That means people in him has already fallen away. So far, it's no coming back. Sister Deborah used to call it going far out in the ocean and can't swim back to dry land. He said, Deborah, that's the great falling away. All that time I was teaching it in a parable in which man could understand. All the time, Yah is telling me, Deborah, it's going according to my will. The way I have taught you, you are able to speak. That's why he gives me the authority today to say to you, your time is up. Everything you will say after this day, you're going to see it and feel it like Saul felt it as that time go on and on, that your time is up. You know, he meaning that he had given you so much time, so much of time that you just decided that you owned time. You owned the way to who he stands for, who he is. And you led the multitude that's falling away with you, along with you. So you're not going to just think that you're going to hear this message from the prophets in the wilderness and you're going to turn bow face. You're not. You're going to keep it heavier and heavier, getting more men to feel you. You don't talk about 80% of our men has been in the closet and out of closet, meaning follow the mission of Solomon and Gomorrah. You don't understand that. That's in Isaiah 3, chapter 3. Okay, you don't understand that they hide themselves like unto Solomon, and Gomorrah. See, they don't want to reveal that, and you don't want to reveal that. You want to come in on the end in which the Most High says that the Hebrew men has a hatred spirit on them beyond control. So I have accepted that when he said that, and it had bothered me to the point where I didn't use it to continue my walk with him, because anything he says, it is, I believe. I don't listen to people like you and take anything you say and put it in the right contents, because you have no contents that's righteous to place what you say in it. Okay, y'all say you represent everything one looks at, one sees. You materialistic from your eyes to your head to the clothing you wear to the billboard that's in the back of you and to everything someone sees, and that is wicked and evil and the world setting. Okay, so I feel very sad for many who have followed you throughout time for so long, thinking that at one time you were really about. Let me tell you something. No one is about spirit and truth and fall from spirit and truth in this day. Y'all will build them up and restore them as time get closer and closer to the end. But for you, Pastor Dowell, you have shown yourself to be an idol God to a people, not allowing the people and the men to make righteous decisions that is under spirit and truth, to be just in their decisions and to be righteous in their decisions. You chose to manipulate and control their emotions and their feelings because you were wounded as a young person. Mother did nothing to you. It's just where you wanted to be on her breast. You were never brought to her breast that way. That's because of who you are today. You see? So it never was mother issue. And it extended from fathers. Your father had similar issues that you had in life. And that issue was birthed in you. And you brought forth it and manifested amongst many, even to today. Yah says, AHAYAH says, you are finished. It's over. Another thing I want to address before I get off of here, I want to let you know how deep you have deceived so many, how you have lied and manipulated those who have funds and money. You've been watching the almighty dollar of each and individual person, males especially, that you have brought on to your cult. The Father suffered me that I can say cult, because it is a place like unto Jim Jones. See, if people don't understand, you can just, he said, be not afraid of he that destroyed the body. Jim Jones destroyed the body of the people, but he also destroyed what? Their spirit that's what to walk in righteousness. You see? And that's what you're doing. You're doing a carbon copy of what Jim Jones did. Okay? Yah said, Elohim, AHAYAH said, don't be afraid of he that can destroy the body. Jim Jones destroyed the body. Okay? He said, he that destroyed body and spirit is whom you need to be afraid of, which is AHAYAH. So therefore, what you have done, you are destroying the spirit of men to walk in that which is unrighteous and unjust, that holds no spiritual integrity. No spirit of integrity rests therein. Not one man. I don't care who says that the individual that's on your in your church form that is righteous. No. See, one thing about it, anybody that is breathed into anything that you do and have sat among you a length of time and have not poured away in righteousness, poured away in just, they therefore has fallen away from what is spirit and what is truth. See, the great falling away is not a church that's closed down or a church that members just all leave. No, the great falling away is people who fall away from spirit and truth. Spirit and truth is the Most High Yah. It is his spirit that holds truth to what? Righteousness, the whole truth to just. You see? The whole truth to AHAYAH, that knowing that that is his true name. They know not anything because they worship you as their God, as their idol. Have they chosen thee over the one that says, I will be your comforter. I will teach you all things. I will reveal things to you. I will show you things to come. But we decided as flesh in your camp, those in your camp decided, I said we, because there's many times he allowed me to include myself when I'm speaking to all nations or all the house of Israel or all the world. Never saying you. But here he suffered me to say this, that you and your camp and all that follow you has fallen under the great falling away. Because they have fallen away from what is spirit and truth. You are not spirit and truth. The Most High AHAYAH is spirit and truth. When they have fallen away from that, they have fallen away. Fallen. They already have fallen. That's why it's so easy for them to walk in your idol, you as an idol. It's so easy for them to fall under no matter where you're drinking, the way you're talking, the way you're conducting yourself, the way you're building. Building for what? Do you not understand where we are at in that day? Building, back in the days, they're going to be, in the days, they're going to be building and selling and feasting. Is not that what you're prepared on your form? You have prepared heaven out of your emotions, out of your feelings, out of your wisdom and out of your knowledge and out of your understanding, and formed a people to make it legit. And they have sat among you and has fallen away from spirit and truth. Now, he want me to also share that we spoke of Saul and the prophet that he brought before Saul to kind of guide him until he bring David in the midst. My thing is he told me to tell you your time is up. So that doesn't mean, I know the great falling away is there. I don't have a hell nor heaven to put anyone in. I speak as the Spirit has charged me to speak and has given me the authority to speak these things. But the great falling away, David ended up taking on where Saul was released from. Okay? Okay? So, I say unto you, Pastor Dowell, as AHAYAH have said, your time is up. Let's go and show you how far you have been from what is spirit and truth. How far you have been walking, talking, and acting and bringing your fleshly feelings and emotions into unjust, unrighteousness. Okay, we're gonna go to the book of Genesis so you can understand your great falling. The fallen, you have been deleted. You are no longer who you think you are, who you want to be, who you're gonna fight against to be. All of it is going to show you in the days to come. Okay, what and who Sister Deborah is in AHAYAH. Okay, we're gonna go to Genesis. First of all, he wants me to let you know, along with many others who I'm going to be live at today speaking to. But I want to address you. First, he wants me to let you know, because of who you have been throughout many years, have led a great falling away in your camp, in those who have brought themselves to your bosom, because you drew them to your bosom. Your bosom represents your emotions, your personal opinion, your personal feelings, your wisdom, your knowledge, and your understanding. You have brought them into you. They have idoled and worshiped you. Therefore, the great falling away has taken place amongst them. But you are done. You're finished. Your time is up. So he wants me to let you know your time, Pastor Dowell, is up. But he's leaving something very special, because he wants me to give this to you. In the book of Genesis, first of all, he wants you to understand the way you have slung the King James Bible, the Bible in which you go by. You have slung it unrighteous and unjust. You have slung it and smeared it in so much darkness to where people can read and see what you're saying. Okay? But what the people don't know, you're not the one that's going to teach them what it's saying. See, the whole idea of Yeshua HaMashiach was the blood, which was the sacrifice to redeem us back. The blood, which was Yeshua. But you didn't understand. Connected to Yeshua came power. That power will deliver you from any and everything. Do you hear me, man? You cannot teach Yah's word, AHAYAH's word, with no power. Okay? So when Sister Deborah speaks, and I'm not your sister, as Yeshua said to the disciples, who is my father? My mother. Who is my brother? Except those follow spirit and truth. They are not considered my mother, my brother. He made that statement before he left. But we don't want to get into that realm, because we think it's don't fit into our idling men and women. So a lot of people idol people that's not walking in spirit and truth. See, so therefore they fall away from spirit and truth and they go their own way. So the Most High wants you to understand, you are not my brother. Yeshua have already spoken that. Who is my brother? Who is my mother? It's those that follow spirit and truth. Okay? Now, he wants you to understand you've been in this book for a mighty long time, using it to abuse and misuse people, which the Romans, which every denomination, every nationality has done and continue to do. He wants me to let you know that's why Yeshua HaMashiach, which many call Jesus Christ, that's the purpose of him coming. To wipe all of that away. So everybody don't have to follow that wickedness. He come to take that stuff away and put it in the right perspective. Even every order that you have formed in here, it has to go in the right perspective order. You have to see the beginning, but the beginning is not like unto the end. Even though saying yesterday, today, and forever, they talking about AHAYAH. He's the same yesterday, today, and forever. He's not saying everything yesterday should be like it is today. He didn't come to say that. He said he is the same yesterday, today, and forever. We went and taught the people that everything is in here. It's like it was yesterday as it is today. The Most High said that you neglect the power, which is Christ. The reason why you neglect the power, because you never knew who the power was, even to today. I don't know if it was today or yesterday, whenever it was, you spoke of Genesis and when he created. And everything you said was wicked and evil. And not one word did you stumble over. Why? You have mastered how to teach unrighteous. You have mastered the book enough to think that you can win people over through it. But guess what? The book was told to study, to show the people, to show the world, to show the church, to show. No, he said study only to show one person, and that is thyself. Because he knew when you study, it's just a meaning of an ideal of thirsting, wanting, knocking, asking, seeking. Studying means that I want to study this because I want to know it. I want to feel it. I want to see what it means. I want to see what it stands for. So I studied to show nobody but myself approved. And then he began to say, rightly. Now here come rightly. Here come rightly. Now who is rightly? Rightly is AHAYAH. He's all righteous. He is righteous. He's saying, study to show thyself. Don't go showing the sanctuary, your coat, your church, your sanctuary, your place of worship. Don't go study in this to show them what you're studying. That's why he say, be close to hearing and quick to speaking. Because in hearing, you hear the Spirit. But if you're so busy speaking what you're studying, then you're making yourself to be a God itself. You're making yourself out to be someone that many shall follow. And then you begin to get bloated head that you are like unto a God. And that's what you did. But he wants you to know before I get off of here, you have twisted what was said in here to fit your hurt, your pain, your emotions, and your feelings since you was a young person. This is why you turn this to be the hammer to show that you know what really you don't know. But because you have such a great falling away detached to you, then they will believe every word you say, praise you at every word you say, honor you at every word you say, like you at every word you say, subscribe to you at every word you say, without understanding that they are detached to you as the great falling away. Why must Sister Deborah say that? It's because they have fallen away from spirit and truth. And they cannot see it, for it is spirit and it is truth. So they decide to take a hold of that which they can see and believe, that which they can hear, which is your voice, and believe. Not understanding only righteous side, hallelujah. On the just side standeth AHAYAH, and his power. Sad, very sad. So he wants you to know it's your time, it's up. You are finished. And in Genesis, you spoke a lot of things. He wants you to know that you have lied even up to March, the 6th, 2022, shows that you have done this for so many years. First of all, the spirit that's in you that got you teaching men hate at the level of where you have taught them hate, it's okay. You can keep that. You can have that. The Most High Yah said it's all yours. You have done an excellent job molding the men to do and believe what you in your heart feel, and in your emotions, in your personal feelings, your personal opinion, in your personal decision. When you got involved in this, you went full force. He built you up just to show the people that he also has brought you down. Okay. Now, in Genesis, you spoke, and he said the reason why, I got to get this off, the reason why you don't understand this book in spirit and truth is because you have took this book and mastered it enough. Now, it's a lot of stuff I'm going to cut you down on, but you have mastered it enough to feed it unto the hungry that have not sat at the table of spirit and truth. And because of that reason, they too shall fall away along with you. Many, 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 many. Okay? The truth be told, when you're teaching this book, you cannot use this book for nothing outside of your study. That's it. He did not ask you to take this book and teach this book. He said, study to show thyself. Why, Sister Deborah? Why? It's because he knew that he's son, the true teacher. Because throughout it, in the old, that's why they never followed it. That's why they had no respect for it. That's why they never honored it. That's why they never gave it the glory and the power. It's because they never obeyed it. Even back in the Torah. And you got many wants to bring the Torah back to today. You can't. You didn't obey it. They didn't obey it yesterday. They ain't going to obey it today. But what people don't understand, the sacrifice came and then the power. They came together. That means everything else got to buckle up under the authority of Yeshua HaMashiach. Why? Because that power is what we all need to fear. See, it's not the Father that we fear. It's his power. Because the power can show up and show out too. So he gave you the fear, the gift of fear to what? To fear his power. That's something, Pastor Dowell, you never knew nothing about. Because you were studying this to teach it, to use it, to battle people and go up against people with it. And guess what? You always had it wrong. This book cannot tell you to have wives. This book cannot tell you that the woman it wasn't made out of the image. This book you cannot take to the point where you teach people, you battle people, you make people think that you know something that you don't know because something came after this book. Something stand taller than this book. AHAYAH, through Yeshua HaMashiach. That's why he said, I ain't come to change nothing. I ain't come to tamper with the law. I come to fulfill all this crap that you all couldn't even master. I'm coming to show y'all how it's walked. I'm coming to show y'all how it's taught. So what did Yeshua talk about? Women being the way that you said women going to be? Did Yeshua come to say, men, you need to hate these women? Women need to set up, sit down, and close their mouth? You heard not a word out of the mouth of he that come to fulfill all things. If Yeshua HaMashiach didn't say it, I don't care what no one else have said. He was our example. He was the one we were to mimic. We were to walk. He was our example. Tell me what example that you have taught on this devil platform that represent Yeshua HaMashiach. You cannot come up and show me through this word anything you have taught that matches the walk of Yeshua HaMashiach. All this about women. Yeshua HaMashiach came and said, let me tell you something. Y'all keep your laws. Keep it in hand. You can keep what the prophet says. You can keep it in hand. But I come to give you the fulfillment of it all. Why? Because I'm coming to be the blood sacrifice, and I got something with me. Not only do I got the word, I got the power to show you how to walk, how to talk, and how to be in the will that is righteous before the Father. But you got to understand only one way you can walk in it, and that is in spirit and truth. That's one way you as a pastor cannot come upon anyone, and that is in spirit, and that is in truth. Because this book was to be a study guide. You go to college, you go anywhere for training, you go to the military, they're going to hand you books. They're going to get you to sign after you read the book. To do what? That you read and that you understood. But they ain't going to give you that book that you may teach somebody else. This book was put here. And in spite of how many times men have went in it, males, and smeared it all over the place, we as the true elects must wait on. We must tarry for something greater than this book that can teach us how to rightly divide the spirit of truth. Something you never knew. You took this book literally and you lived it to 2022. And Sister Deborah finna step all up in your face in the name of AHAYAH. Because your time is up. And he is not going to allow me to say that because I want to say it because I'm a female or I'm in my feelings. I'm in my emotion. I'm in the spirit of spirit and truth. You're finished. It's over. From this day on, at the sound of my voice, whether you hear it, whether you see it, whether you accept it, it is finished. This book, and it's to any and everybody, is never to use it to put people in captivities, to put people in control, and to put people in order, to manipulate people, to lead people to follow you. This book was a guide, and even in it, he said, study to show thyself. Don't go study it to show nobody. And when you study rightly, divide spirit and truth. Hallelujah. Well, what do you get it? You have to shut your ugly mouth long enough. Learn to sleep with your mouth closed. Because in the midst of you sleeping, he will give you dreams. In the midst of your mouth closed, he will give you visions. Why? That's the only way he can give you something. Men, males, he has to knock your butt out. He has to bring you to a sleep. Vision and the dream is such a beautiful support. Because it's when he shut you down to give you something in your spirit. So when you wake up, you know something. You ain't shut your mouth long enough because you in your feelings. You in your personal opinion. You in your own will. And he don't have no problem with it. He just called me to tell you, Deborah, tell him, it is finished. I would say if you could go back to the people that I've said that to, they'll tell you, you're done. Okay? So I'm here to tell you, I'm in the wilderness for a reason. I'm not in the wilderness to follow man and woman. I'm not in the wilderness to follow flesh. I'm not in the wilderness to follow my way. I follow the way of AHAYAH, which is spirit and it is truth. You all out there and anybody at the sound of this voice, this message is dedicated to a Pastor Dowell to let him know it is finished. He is finished. I want to say this. Never use this book. Never use this book. When Yeshua had ascended, he told the disciples to wait and tarry. That means to wait. Because if we shut our ugly mouth long enough and wait from our inner man, which is our spirit, we'll learn it's worth waiting. Because that's when he would come. And if you believe in Yeshua HaMashiach, the whole mission of the Father, he'll bring his spirit, which is his power, to usher the fullness of who he is in you. But 99.9% of our men that's on this devil platform and our women, they have never waited. So they took on their own plan, their own way. And I believe it is time. It is time for many to be charged with judgment. Because it's finished, y'all. With me, for him to tell me it's finished, it is finished. So he's saying, tell him he's fun with. I'm not letting his game play no more, even though it is finished. He's doomed. He took out too much time doing him. Manipulating people, deceiving the people out of this. Reading this book and knowing how to swing the words in this book don't give you eternal heaven. See, a lot of people are saddened because they're really thinking they're going somewhere. And they don't understand. Only way you're gonna go if the Ruach HaKodesh take you there. And that is the spirit of the Most High Yah. You outside of that, you ain't going anywhere. So you can study this, you can master it, you can use it like a sword of your own, out of your own flesh, all you want. But this here only was a study guide. That means when you learn to shut up and listen to the spirit will talk to you, then it'll send you to where you can see where he left a star, he left a slanted word, or he left a message for you. That's like any a teacher or professor. They'll give you a book, and then they'll talk to you and tell you. Then they'll tell you where you can go to see it further, or where you can go to understand it. That's all he wanted you to do with this, Mr. Dowell. But you took it and you made your own cult. You made your own sanctuary, your own church. You made yourself a god to people, and you sent them so much darkness. You fed them so much wicked and darkness. He's want me to let you know today is April the 6th, 2022. Your time. It's up. Okay. Now, what he want me to let you know, how much far off you were in spirit and truth, how you have led the people so far out in the deep, they won't be able to run and swim and try to make it to dry land. You took them too far out. Okay. And too far out mean they went out there following man. Okay. Now say, for instance, they went out in the deep following the Most High Yah, like Jonah. He went all the way out to get away from that land. But what he do? Y'all got him out there, brought his butt back to the land. That's all I'm saying to you. See? But you got the people out there. Y'all is not going to bring them back to the land. You got them too far out mentally. And that follows also. That follows the whole end of Deuteronomy until they are destroyed. Not only did the heathens, the oppressed ones, the one that did the oppress, but your own nation has taken you for out in no man's land. And many, many, many won't be able to swim back to dry land. Dry land is spirit and truth, a place no one wants to go. That's why he prophesied that the gate that leads to life and everlasting is narrow. And he said only, hold up, Deborah, tell them, Deborah, very few shall find their end. Now, how do you think you're going to follow, and people going to follow you with your nonsense, with your way of preparing them to walk into the narrow gate? Or have you prepared the people to walk into the narrow gate? Have you prepared the people to walk in the light? Have you prepared the people to walk into what is spirit and truth? Have you prepared the people to tarry into the Holy Spirit, indulge them with spirit and truth? No, you prepared them for your land, your building up, your guns, your preparing to fight the world. You prepared them for that. You didn't prepare them for nothing spirit and truth. You prepared them to worship you as a God. You prepared these men to give you all this money so you can have more and abundantly. Y'all said to me once before, this was years ago, do you hear them saying they're going out? Why ain't the women on your camp going out to help the homeless? They should have a building off of your coat with hungry people, and they can feed people. They can give clothing. They can give back. Not those on your camp. But had they done that, he said, I was hungry. Did you feed me? No, he ain't going to feed you. He said the fruit of his labor is going to remain in his camp. Where are they giving? Where are they donating? Where are you all donating money to the widows and the orphanage? Oh, no, he ain't going to go there, Deborah. Them women too much of whores and all these other names that he gives them. He ain't going to help these kids. He ain't finna help these women. His heart is in the wrong place. First of all, I also the Father want me to let you know the things in which he said to represent him, where you know he is in the midst. He said, I was take care of the orphanage, the fatherless, and the widows. He said, what do they have in common? They don't have a man in the midst. Are you teaching these men how to take care of the orphanage? Are you teaching these men how to take care of the widows? Are you teaching these men on your coat cap how to be big brothers to the fatherless? No, but you're teaching them how many wives they can have, how much control they can have over women, how to manipulate the system and women to be a city within your own place, because you have built up a false god, yourself as a false god. They have worshiped a false god. That's the issue that Israel always had, is they idol. They always believe in idoling. And even on your cult, they have idoled you. And the things that you have shown them, the things that you're building, the things that you're growing, they are idling those things to make you look like a God, to make you look righteous, to make you look like just. But Yah wants me to give you this. In Genesis, he wants me to shut you down with this. And that is this. In Genesis, it says, in the beginning, Genesis 1. Let me see if I got mine. In the beginning, he says, in the beginning, Yah created heavens and earth. You hear that so-called Pastor Dowell? God created heaven and earth. Let's go. Let's rumble. Let's rumble now in what your ugly words spoke of earlier. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. So now you got an earth that wasn't formed, and it's all it was darkness. Come on, show up, my AHAYAH. Come on, show up. Now here he come. Here he come. He's coming on the scene now to show this here idol God that many has been following and continue. Idol God that many has followed and continue. Genesis chapter 1, verse 2. And it reads, and the spirit, hallelujah, of Elohim, of Yah, moved upon the face of the waters. He said, freeze there, Deborah. Okay, here I go. He wants you to know all this time, you knew the truth about who he was as a spirit. But you stand on this devil platform lately, and you strip women from the only thing that represents Yah in them. And you took it and you smeared it and you slandered it with your nose up in the air and proudly, with no feeling of emotions or guilt or anything. That's why your time is up. It's because this is April the 6th, 2022, and you're still talking the same crap you've been talking for years. And he wants you to know you're not trying to walk in righteous. You're not trying to teach the people spirit and truth. You're trying to keep up war between your own nation. And you're using the men, the great falling away of the men, to be as wicked as they are today. And you're a partaker in it. You're finished. Your time is up. Okay? Now, I want you to first understand what the Father is saying. The Father, AHAYAH, is saying, the Spirit of Yah moved upon the face of the earth. Every woman on the face of the earth. If you believe this demonic spirit that tells you that woman is not in the image of Yah, Yah wants you to know you are damned as he is. As Pastor Dowell is damned, so are you. Because in the beginning he is, and he was, and he shall be a spirit. A spirit. How did this man be able to manipulate people to believe his message and like it and subscribe to it and praise it? Because they are the great falling away that has already taken place. Hallelujah. Now, in Genesis chapter 1, verse 2, the Spirit of Yah moved upon the face of the earth. The only part that we have that is of Yah is his image, which is a spirit. So who told you that Yah created women not out of his image, and his image is only a spirit? How then must the women have a chance outside of going to hell? You see how wicked you are? Because if you don't have a spirit, then you clone. If you don't have a spirit, then you're from Mars, you're from somewhere else. You're not human. And you never thought of it because you don't think. You know why you don't think? You have built your own heaven on the earth. And that's why you're building land and building everything. He said in the end, it's going to be like Noah. Aren't this pastor mastering Noah and the ark? He's building. Just as he said, they feasting. They gathering. And the men, identical. The purpose of why he created men was having many wives as they pleased. That's that cult that he's in. That's what Pastor Dowell you are leading. And y'all seen it from the heaven. Let me explain something to you. First of all, the whole house of Israel is in a state of blindness. And they're not coming out. That's why he tells me, Deborah, it's finished. Don't expound, don't dig deep, don't just tell them what I give you and keep it going. It's finished. Okay? It's over. We're not going to beat the heathens. We're not going to override the heathens. We're going to come out of it destroyed. I know it. This man as well. And all the men on these platforms and women, but more so 99.9 of the men has taught Deuteronomy out of order. They took Deuteronomy and cut the beginning, showed the Father's give and gave for us. Then they cut the end where it shows we're going to be destroyed. We ain't coming out of this. Like we think we coming, like they teaching it, like they trying to master it out of this book. See, the spirit and truth come to tell you, wait a minute, hold up. Let me show you what been smeared in here. Let me show you what is truth and what is spirit. Let me show you who I am. I am who I say that I am. I am AHAYAH. I am the beginning and the end. Let me teach you all things. I said I would come, and I've been on the scene. You reject me. You refuse me to hear man. To make this man, that time is up to be your God. Okay. So right there, that shows that AHAYAH, which is Yahuwah, is a spirit. The reason why the whole house of Israel has been ignorant, because they've been ignorant toward the Father since the beginning. You've been ignorant since the beginning as well. You just figured since more people liking you, following you, subscribing to you, you the God now. You the one that knows it all. That's where y'all messed up from the floor. Because the more you know, the less you really know. A lot of people don't know that, but that's the truth. The more you think you know, the less you really know. Because when all the glory is still not hung up on his hanger, all the praise is not hung up on his hanger, all the honor is not hung up on his hanger, and it's hung up on you, that shows you that you're not following spirit and truth. You're not following holy. You're not following righteous. You're not following justice. Anytime everything is hung up on you, praise given to you, glory is given to you, honor is given to you, subscribers is given to you, likes are given to you, then that you speaking does not represent him. Okay? You're causing people to idol you. Now, here in Genesis, the Father wants me to let you know, since you still in the year of 2022 ignorant as you were in the first beginning. A spirit is what the Most High blew into the breath of Adam to give him life. Okay? And when he blew the breath of life into Adam, and Adam became not a soul, that's another word that if you're not under the Ruach HaKodesh, which is spirit and truth, you'll get confounded, or you'll get tangled in words that does not mean, whether you're searching Hebrew, whether you're searching Greek, that does not mean that in spirit and truth. Soul is spirit. He breathed his spirit into you, and you became a living spirit of your own. That's the image of him that you have. It is a spirit. So come on back and tell me that the spirit of Yah is not in a woman. Because if it's not in a woman, how is it she has the breath of life and she's birthing all man without the spirit of Yah within her? How can that be? How can it be? If woman came from man, where did he tell you that? He didn't tell you that. He told you he took a rib from man. He didn't tell you he took his spirit from man and gave it to woman. He knew how to breathe into woman's nostrils just like he did man. Woman wasn't going to get up until he breathed the breath of life into her. He just, do you think that the breath in which Yah had breathed into man was in his rib? Do you think that rib of man was the clay that he molded around and formed man? Was that the clay, the dirt, the same dirt man was made of? Did not he make woman dirt over here? There's a reason why he separated her from him. He wanted them to have something in common, which was something from the rib was the side. But the same way he created Adam, he created Eve, except he had to knock his tail out so he can go over and do what he had to specially do to her. And that's why he said, I brought her to him, already made, especially the way I wanted her to be made. So who died and said you are the author of how Yah created woman? We all, no matter what nationality we have, unless they're a clone, have the breath of life. Let's go to John. John. The Gospel of John, chapter 1. Y'all know that's my favorite book, don't y'all? Not my favorite, but one of them. John. The Gospel of John, chapter 1, verse 9. That was the true light, which lighted every man that come into the world. Wait a minute, hold up. But wait a minute, hold up. Women don't have it, though. Women don't have it. Women don't have this light. So only men have it. So when we have to stand before judgment, what's going to be judged of us if we don't have nothing that is of Yah, or that was the image of him? What are we standing as, clone? And how are we going to reach the altar to be judged if we don't have the Spirit? Huh? The breath of life was his image. He gave us an image of who he is, which is a spirit. We gained a spirit because he breathed his breath of life in us. You see? So therefore, we end up having life to the spirit in which he has breathed into us. That's because men have taught it to be a soul. And I know. You see how Deuteronomy, the end of Deuteronomy, is so true until they are destroyed mentally, physically, mind-wise. We are destroyed. Year 2022, we still destroyed. And we're being destroyed as I speak. Because we are destroyed, not only from just spirit and truth, but truth itself. Because we chose not to follow he that comes, that holds all things, beginning and end. And we chose to look at somebody like you, Pastor Dowell. I don't pay no attention to that. I don't look at you. Last time I left a note on you was 4 years ago about your wife. But I'm telling you today, you are lost and have been without a cause. And anybody that follows you, come walk with you, talk with you on every side of you, anybody that was once with you and have drawn away from you, they are no different. You can hear it in their mouth. You can hear it in their thought pattern. The way they communicate, the way they think, the way they feel. I, Sister Deborah, can discern it. They come up from among you. Even though they might be against you today, but they come up from you because they are of you. And they don't realize that they're one of a kind. The tree, the apple that falls from this tree, it's the same tree that you fell from, that you got away from, that you still liken to. Okay, now, in the Gospel of John, okay? In the Gospel of John, chapter 1, verse 9, that was the true light, which lighted every man that cometh into the world. Do you think he's talking about every man? He was the world, he was in the world, and the world was made by him, and the world knew him not. You know why they didn't know him? Because he came in spirit. And even to today, not knowing him. And Sister Deborah coming to tell you, I can tell you something, but I ain't here to tell you nothing outside of it's finished. All things is finished. And for you, as a pastor now, it's finished for you. It's over. It is over for you. You'll start understanding by and by. In this day, when the stuff start crumbling, you'll understand what the Most High Yah mean when he sent the prophetess to tell you you're done with. It's over. You're finished. Okay? So here he's saying in the Gospel of John, chapter 1, verse 9, that was the true light, which lighted, the lighted was a spirit. Every man that come into the world. He's not talking about men, males. He says every human being that cometh. How do they come? They come through the womb of a woman. she have to bring the world to forth. Now, why would, I want to say this to you, you ignorant man. Why would Yah created woman to be treated like you've been treating and saying woman is? To belittle her like you belittled her? To speak of her like that? And she had to birth not only you, everybody on the earth. Why? Why would Yah? Why would Elohim? Why would AHAYAH create a female to be like you said she is? And then you got all these ignorant, lost, dark men following you as a God and believing that woman was created the way you said it. Now you go up to, let me break this down. You go up to the Gospel of John, so he can't even look at the word and find anything he said right. Okay, you go up at the beginning. Listen to what he said. You notice in the Gospel of John, chapter 1, it says, the same was in the beginning with God, meaning his plan. It was before him, before it was. Okay. All things were made by him. Without him was nothing made that was made. Understand this, you ignorant man. It's nothing created for no reason outside of the purpose of Yah's will. Not your will. And how these dark men that walks in darkness with you follow you, I have no idea. But I can give you the best thing that the Most High have shared with me. They walk in the same darkness because you have prepared them to walk in the darkness with you. Yes, you have. And he wants me to let you know you did a good job. But it wasn't a job that he didn't know that will follow in that way. Okay? So you tell him, yeah, you got some fruit of the spirit of darkness. The fruit of the spirit that you have is darkness. So yes, you got a lot of them following you in darkness. That's your fruit. Okay? So now listen to this. Everything that was made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. Amen. And watch this here. Verse 4. In him was life. So if life is in Yah, which is his breath, which is his spirit, if life is in him, and the life was the light of men. You see that? M-E-N. You see? Do you see that? Listen to it again. In him was life. And the life was to light, to give a spirit to men. To give a spirit to men. You know why he gave you that spirit? Because every seed in you is a spirit. Every seed in you is a spirit. So you see how you messed up this world? Do you see how the reason why the world is in a chaos? Not one word of scripture in this Bible lets you know that the world is in its way because of a woman. Not even in the book of Noah. What is it? When Noah and the ark. That wasn't because of a woman. Solomon and Gomorrah. The women weren't even connected to that. That had to do with men. The men has created the homosexual. Even here as today. Everything you speak of that's negative, it was breeded from a man. Here he's letting you know I gave a light. My idea was to give the light unto man. Men. The light is spirit. And every seed therefore in you represent a light. That light is given unto a woman to incubate it. And she that also have a light You are and was the light that was given. All the lives was given unto you. That's why your daddy breathed you with such a sick mind, because he had a sick mind. And his daddy breathed him with all the characteristics you have. Guess what? It came down your father's bloodline. He meant when he said he's going to visit the iniquity of the fathers for a generation. He meant that. You came down it. And your sons likewise. And to one that carries spirit and truth, break the curse. You still breathing the same monsters. See, only way you can come out of it if you walk in the true light of the Most High Yah, in spirit and truth. And that you have not done. So therefore, your seed of your sons is going to come down like unto you. So you have breathed a lot of hell and walking around here thinking you all that and some. And Yah's telling you in the year 2000, April the 6th, 2022, you finished. You're done. So just imagine all that monstrous spirit that you done breathed is going to repeat you all over again. You see? And then you have the audacity to take the hearts of other men and teach them how to hate, to belittle women. The only place that he have created for every life that come out of your womb. He said, listen to this. In him was life. In Yah was life, was spirits, was his breath. Let's say that. In him was his breath. He breathed the breath, and man became a living spirit. And in his womb was other lights. He takes those lights and plant them in woman, and woman birthed those lights forth. And they become a light. But it's not a male. It's not a female. Every female on this earth has a light. A light is the spirit that in which God has given them. That's everybody. Then you turn around on verse 9. That was the true light, which lighted every man that cometh into the world. Letting you know. But they have to what? Come it. You have to come. That means woman have to birth you into the world. If you don't come and you shoot a lot of sperms into a woman, the light don't manifest until she birthed you. Until it what? Come it. Until verse 9, John chapter 1, verse 9. Until it come it into the world. It can't come to the world without the woman. You see? And every woman that birthed them, and they come into the world, now they have a light. Every male and female has a light. That is the image of Yah. He is a light. He is a spirit. You see how stupidity you sound? You see how ignorant you sound? And I don't even think it's ignorant. Let me erase that, because I think ignorant can be defined right. I think evil, darkness, and wickedness are you. And that's what you stand in. And that's what you're going to die in. Because the spirit in which he breathed into Adam to give him life in his spirit is the same that he did for Eve to give her life in her spirit. Every woman that comes into the world has to have a light of their own. You're a sick man to teach these men and these people that's run around here following you, liking you, that a woman don't have a spirit, the breath of Yah in her. You have molded and shaped these minds of these weak men and women. That's why Yah said they silly women, laden with sin, because they follow darkness. That's the sin in which they follow. They follow darkness than to follow that which is spirit and truth, which is righteous. And they go on their way, abiding by your cult, your ways, your feelings, your emotions, the way you want to teach, the way you want wisdom and knowledge to go out and understanding. So I, Sister Deborah, wanted to show you that the image of Yah is a spirit. That's how sweet it is. And when he given us life, he given us life that all of us also have gained a spirit. That's what stands before him to be judged. Why? That's the only way we can worship him. So when you say that we don't have, females don't have the image of God, the image of AHAYAH, you're actually saying we can't even stand before the higher power. We can't even go into him for prayer. Why should we pray if we ain't got the image? We don't have a spirit. We don't have his breath of life in us. We're just out here. You see how much power you've given men? You see how much power of unrighteous and darkness you have fed them? Now you see how you done that? And you think it's all good. Oh, no. Father want me to let you know today it's over. It's finished. And it's nothing for nobody to praise and to boost up and to magnify or to applaud. Because many that were with you also are going to fall away from what is righteous. Because they don't see where they are like unto you. You see, they can't see that. Only way they're going to be able if they go to that same altar and plead and fast and pray that Yah will bring them out of your bosom. Because that's where you have them. Even those that have left, those that have gone away, they still in your bosom. That's why they can't shake you. Because if they are about the Most High, Yah said you dust your feet off and you keep it going. Because if you don't dust your feet off, you're going to take who he is with you. And that's what they have done. So they're the same thing. They're talking up what you're doing, but they are like unto you. They still got the dust and the debris from where they come from out of you on them. So they still fall in and still the great falling away because they still don't understand how to get back to dry land because they still way out in the deep with you, even though they're not with you. They still out there mentally, physically, and spiritually. They're still out there. They have to understand it's dry land you have to get to. And when you get to there, you'll know you're there and you'll be meditating on such a demonic spirit as you are. Okay? Okay. Now, first of all, I want to let you know, Yah's spirit doesn't represent male or female. You're just ignorant. You're going to stay ignorant because you finished. You done. Yah is through with you. Yah's spirit is not male nor female. It is a spirit. And that every male and female that come onto the earth inherit the image of Yah, which is a spirit. Did not he say, we worship him in spirit and in truth? That means we can't come to his throne in our flesh. We got to come in our spirit. So a woman don't have no spirit, huh? That means she don't have his image. You running on here talking and running your ugly mouth, talking about a woman don't have no image of God, only man. You sound very foolish to be that and led that multitude of people into that dark sea. And they still walking with you and praising you. And that's what got you going on. That's what got you moving. Don't think you don't feel no shame and no conviction. But these people on these devil platforms boosting you up to not turn in any way to the face of the Most High Yah, AHAYAH. And that's why you're not turning and you're not going to. Because too many of them are boosting you, uplifting you, okaying you, and praising you, and they don't understand. They're out in the deep with you. That's why they're not going to go to the dry land. And all this stuff about marrying women and having all these women, Yah said, stop that line. He said, follow the law of the land. If the law said that you need to have a written statement of marriage, then you have to follow that. You can't get on no land and try to fulfill the Old Testament. Yah didn't tell you that. He said you own the land of your oppressor and you own captivity until you are destroyed. So where are you going? Because when you build yourself to be a God, you make everything around you worship and serve you. You make everything believe your feelings. You make everything believe your emotions. You make everything believe your opinion. You make everything believe your thought, your wisdom, your knowledge, and your understanding. And they believe it, not knowing that Yah has a wisdom. Yah has a knowledge. Yah has an understanding. He is who he said that he is. He is AHAYAH. That's his name. He's all power. He came with Yeshua HaMashiach. You see? So they don't want to believe that in. They want to come on the end that warned them. Put your trust in no man. But what did they do? No, we ain't going to go that route with you, Father. We want to go over here where he at. We always, the house of Israel, the whole house of Israel always needed an idol. We always worship. We always need something we can see and believe. We always need something we can hear and believe. We always understand feelings and emotions. We want to go his route because it makes us feel like we in righteous and still be in darkness and evil and wicked. And that's what you have done. You have fed these men very much negative. Instead of these men learning how to be men out of the heart of Yah, you taught them how to be men out of the hate of your whole life experience with your mother and that woman that turned you down, that you dearly loved. And your whole idea was to soothe that memory. See, a man don't get like he is with you, like you are, unless he has a hate for his mother. He has to have a heavy hate for his mother. And a man that's like you are, the hate that he has for his mother has to be wicked and evil in his heart, because he wouldn't even got as far as he think he could get without having a mother and her ways to get him where he's at. She didn't have to get him where he's evil, but she could have gotten him where he's learning things. The things that he's learned is through her, keeping him on that breast and doing things that she has done and left with him. You see, outside of the hate and evil that he has built up in his heart. And guess what I realized? It wasn't her. She wasn't the fault. It was you. It was you, and who you are today is a carbon copy. You got these men thinking they get on here representing AHAYAH. No, let me say what they got on. Let me take that away. They get on this devil platform talking about they worshiping a God, and they sitting up here drinking. Have you ever thought that anybody that truly worship the Most High Yah knows that Yah don't need to have a drink with you? And if he abide in you and he greater in you than he that is in the world, why are you pouring down substance in he that is greater, that rest are in? Why? And think it's okay. And then magnify that lies and manipulations to put in darkness of the minds of men that it's okay. Anytime a man or men separate women from men, let me tell you something, and try to put men here and women here, something is wrong, y'all. It's always been wrong. Because when Yah created man, before he created man and woman, one thing he wants us to always go back. Let's go there. I'm going to go there with you, so-called, all that they say you are or you want to be. Okay. Now we're going to go into Genesis chapter 1. And Sister Deborah going to end this on 2 hours. Because there's no more telling this man anything. It's no more telling you anything. It's finished with you. You are through, said the Most High Yah. You are through. Okay. Genesis chapter 1, verse 26. I'm going to go there. I'm going to go a place 99 point trillion ain't been, but I'm going to go in there anyway because the Father is suffering me to do so. Praise you, the Most High Yah. Hallelujah. AHAYAH. Praise your mighty name. Genesis chapter 1, verse 26. And Yah said, let us make man in our image. This word man, M-E-N, was speaking of two, but in the image of, no, not image. Let me do that right. Let me stick with the word. Let me stick with what it's saying. Genesis chapter 1, verse 26. And God said, let us make man in our image. Okay, let's stop right there. In our image, okay, we got to stop. We got to get glory where it's at because 99.1 trillion never knew this and still won't know it because they have been brainwashed from those, by those, and they try to blame it on the church. of yesterday, but they've been brainwashed all the way up until April the 6th to 2022. Okay. And God said, let us make man in our image after our likeness. Okay. And let them, see that word them? You see that? You see that? The word them. We're going to get to who he's talking about, them. Is he said males with an S on it? Males. Let us make men, M-E-N. And let them, M-E-M-A-L-E-S. Is that what he's talking about? If that's what he's talking about, why he didn't make it clear? You have to know through the Ruach HaKodesh how to rightly divide the word of truth. You have to be able to know how. But you can't do it in your flesh. Especially if your flesh have walked in darkness for so long, Saul. To where you don't even have the sense to see the light. So, here you have to understand, and I'm going to share this with you all. Many of you all never knew the word let. Okay? You've heard in time past that Christ always exists. He was present at the beginning. Where was he present? Christ was present at the beginning. Where you know he was present is Genesis chapter 1, verse 3. Okay? You know he was present there. Then you know he was present in Genesis chapter 1, verse 6. He was present. Okay? Then again, you know Christ was present again in Genesis chapter 1, verse 9. And again, you know Christ was present in Genesis chapter 1, verse 11. And then again, you know Genesis chapter 1, verse 14, he was present. And again, you know that in Genesis chapter 1, verse 20, he was present. All up in the first chapter at the beginning, Christ was present. Christ is, we can say Yeshua HaMashiach. Christ is my HaMashiach. Christ is what everyone call, I call HaMashiach, but everyone else called Christ. So in the beginning, Christ was present. He was present in the beginning in chapter 1. Me hearing him say in chapter 1 of Genesis, verse 26, there you see Christ again. That's why he was saying, let us. Because the whole house of Israel never knew the word let was Christ. Christ is, was, and shall be in the days to come the right hand of power of Yah. It's Yah's right hand. It's his right hand of power. Go to your sink and say, let me make a cup of water. When you go to your sink to get the cup, no, let me get a cup of water. When you go to your sink to get a cup of water, first thing you're going to realize, your hand is going to pick up that cup. Your hand going to turn on that water. Your hand going to take that glass under that faucet and you're going to run some water. And your hand going to bring that water to your mouth. But you're going to think it and your hand going to perform it. Y'all want you to understand, every denomination, every nation never knew who he was. That's why he said, the gate is narrow and very few shall find therein. You ain't going to find it. It's something you have to find. It's something that if it was so, it would fool a certain elect. Because Yah, he ain't going to allow his to be fooled by you, so-called Pastor Dowell, and anyone else. Nobody's religion, nobody's Torah, nobody's Bible, nobody's scriptures, nobody's verses, nobody nothing. Because that's what the Ruach HaKodesh come to knock all that crap out the box and put it in the right perspective. Spirit and truth. Okay. Now here, listen to this. This is how crazy it is. So then they miss you, Pastor Dowell. You missed Christ in Genesis. The first chapter of Genesis. Let's go over it again. Genesis chapter 1, verse 3. Genesis chapter 1, verse 6. Genesis chapter 1, verse 11. Genesis chapter 1, verse 14. Genesis chapter 1, verse 20. Was it verse 20? Genesis chapter 1, verse 26. And there we are. Let Christ said, let. Yah is putting his power to work. And he called this us. Because he took who he is. And he knew where his power reigned. And we about to make man. And that's why it jumps down and said, so God created man in his own image. Because Christ and God is one. God is the Father. Christ is his right hand, which is his power. Remember he told Yeshua, sit here on the right hand side till I make that earth your footstool. Why? Christ had to prepare for Yeshua to come down. With what? The power. See, it tells you Yeshua did not come alone. He came as the Son of Man, as the flesh of a woman. A flesh born of a woman. But he came with something. He came with all power, which is Christ. Yah's right hand. How did we miss it? Because we wanted to follow man. And we chose not to follow AHAYAH. We chose to follow man and not AHAYAH. He had always set the light on. He had always told the devil, you need the light on so that we may find our way. Don't go trying to come after my light. I'm going to leave a light on in Genesis that every way they turn, the light, the flaming sword will be there. But we chose darkness over light. Let me explain that. Go to John. The same Gospel of John. I have to hurry up with this. The Gospel of John. And I'm going to show you exactly the light I'm trying to tell you. The reason why you don't know that the word let was Christ. And that's why he said, let the power, let us make man now. See, let came right back in verse chapter 1, verse 26. He said, let. The same let he said throughout the whole thing. Because that was his power. That was who he is. That was his right hand. So through the whole Old Testament and in the New, we'll go back, read the whole Old Testament, and you'll see his stretched out hand, his right hand, cutting up from the floor. Everything he done with his Christ, his only begotten. Even Yeshua knew that the part of him that was connected to him was everything that connects him to the Father. And he always identified Christ, the power. He always. You see, these works that I do are not mine. What you mean? They're not yours. Yeshua, born of a woman. He said, no, they the son of Yah. That's his power. He continued to tell us that, and we ignored it. The whole Old Testament tell us about the stretched out hand and the right arm, and the stretched out arm and the right hand. Us, let us, is Christ, Yah's right hand. It carries all the power in the heavens and in the earth. See, when he sent Yeshua down, born of a woman, he called him the Son of Man. But he said, my right hand power of who I am is the Son of Yah. And I am Emmanuel with thee. Meaning Yah with us. Yeshua knew it. The question he asked his disciples, who do they say that I am? Or what do you think about it? Now I could tell him but Peter. You know why? Yeshua stepped back and said, hold up. I'm flesh and blood. I'm born of a man. The only way you could have known who I was, who I am, who do they say that I am, and you went above what they said? and you said the Son of Yah, Peter was able to identify that Christ was the right hand power of Yah. So you see how you messed this, sir? You running your ugly mouth about things that don't even make any sense. That's profane and disrespect and dishonor. No integrity, none whatsoever. Rest in your deepest darkness. You need to go back to your mama. And whoever that woman, she don't know how blessed she is to turn away from you. And the only reason that wife is with you is because that's that pin needle of light that Yah said he gonna always keep on. And not one time did you turn to it. You neglected, you abused it, you misused it. You didn't honor it as something special because you didn't know it was. Because you felt that you were all that and some. And you're going to make the world see it the way you see it. And guess what? The world can see it any way they want to see it. It's going to hell in a handbasket along with you. You see? So you can get all these men to follow you or whatever, because guess what? Y'all already didn't sign on the signature in Deuteronomy, in the Deuteronomy, saying until they are destroyed. You just partaking in the destruction. You partaking in destroying the black men's minds. You're too ignorant to know it. And the black women's minds. You destroying them here. You helping the heathens and the oppressor destroy them. And you too darn ignorant to see it. That's why there's no unity in the Hebrew Israelite. Because the men has focused on hate and destroying the families and destroying everything. Even after y'all laid it out from the beginning to the end, he pleaded and cried on us. Don't do this, don't do that. Then he allowed us to know what was going to happen if we did. Then he told us the outcome was that we're going to be destroyed. We gone here, y'all. So many of us get on this data platform, and including Sister Deborah, and we think we got it all here. No, we ain't. We are being destroyed as I speak. This man, he's destroyed in darkness, you see. But the word must be fulfilled until all have been destroyed. That's something that the Hebrew Israelite whole movement, the whole movement never taught you all. The fulfillment of the end of this captivity. We didn't even see it coming. Why? Because we've been lied to for so long. And many have not waited and tarried for the Ruach HaKodesh. Instead, they decide to run over here and listen to man and to follow up on the man, and man don't have it. And many of them has gone so far, even started off on the right path, and they're going deeper and deeper. It let me know that the men, the women too, but the men are more destroyed here. They're gone. And that's why you see all the killing. And they're killing their families. They're killing their women. They're killing their children. They're killing their mothers and fathers by great numbers. And it's true. It's fulfilling the word of the Most High Yah. Because I asked the Most High Yah. I said, okay, Father. And I'm educating you, stupid. I'm educating you. Darkness. That it ain't going your way. Your time is finished. It's going according to my Father in the heavens, a highest way. And that's going to be finished according to what he said. Until all of the house of Israel is destroyed. And they're going to be destroyed here. In their minds. In their ways. The way they thinking, the way they feeling. They're going to be destroyed here. Because they failed. Like Hosea chapter 4 and 6. They reject spirit and truth. Even in the midst of their 400 years, they still have not awakened to spirit and truth. They are still in darkness, walking therein, call themselves awakening, talking like this here. You are one of the biggest demonic, misleading spirit that's on the face of the earth among the so-called Hebrew Israelite men and women. So all this here, teach them to get more wives and to have what they want and have what they want. This book ain't never been where you follow it. This book was to study. And then there was something coming after this book, which was the Ruach HaKodesh. It was coming to teach you all things. If Elohim thought that 1 minute all things could have been taught on this book. He didn't need the Ruach HaKodesh. You could have been found here. He could have taught you from here. But he knew men like you have smeared this book, have used it so many ways of wicked and evil that there's no truth can be found unless the Ruach HaKodesh come to bring light to it. And you are not the light. You are a lie. To stand on this devil platform in the year of 2022 and tell these ignorant men and women that women was not in the image of Yah. And the reason why you so strongly and boldly can say that is because you got enough multitude to believe your lie. And y'all call it, they are the great falling away. Because they have fallen away a long time ago from spirit and truth. Yah image is only a spirit. And he has given every man, woman that's born into the world a spirit and his breath. World on the line that you become the God that says, no, I didn't. Only gave it to me. You see how sick you done went too deep. But your time is up, the Father. Y'all said, that's it for you. It's no hope for you. So you can call it whatever you want. As a matter of fact, you can continue to make your videos about women, men, and whatever you want. You can turn around and try to do anything you think you can do. It don't matter no more. Your time is up. Your time is up. And if for any reason he thought that this book carried spirit and truth, 100 at any level, he wouldn't have needed Yeshua HaMashiach to come. Yeshua HaMashiach to come. See, Yeshua HaMashiach could have came and he could have died for our sins. Okay? And that could have been it. But this book, y'all knew, didn't hold spirit and truth. It's just a guide for when he comes and teaches all things. He can support it with a book that might have something in it to reveal what he's teaching. He knew it was something in it. That's why he said study to show thyself. He didn't say study this book to show to teach your mother, your father, your husband, your wife, your church, your people, your congregation, your cult. He didn't say that. And that's what you have used. You have used this book. And so much wrong is in it because, first of all, Adam never did say, as we said, as men have said it, to touch. And if Yah told Adam not to touch, how did it get in the book telling Adam not to touch? And why did Eve say, and he said not to touch? What did that get in there? It's a lot of, I'm just showing you in the beginning. Eve told the serpent, he said, we are not to eat nor touch. Where did touch come in? Y'all never said nothing touch because touch don't enter into a man. It's only what he takes in. So where did Eve get touch? See, sin, lie has already been on the earth and it came before she came. And it came before she was tried by the serpent. You just don't know it because you're too ignorant. You didn't set your mouth, your ugly mouth long enough to wait and tarry for the Ruach HaKodesh, nor did you tarry for the spirits of dreams and vision. You just went off on your own, half-cocked. Now, I didn't even say half-cocked, one-fourth cocked, and made yourself their God. So I, Sister Deborah, said to you, Pastor Dowell, you're finished. It's over. You're finished.